Have you ever thought that something bad happening today might actually be a gift that life is quietly preparing for you? In life, we often rush to judge things the moment they happen. When we lose an opportunity, we call it failure. When we face a setback, we see it as misfortune. When life takes something away from us, we immediately feel pain and believe that everything is working against us. But the truth is, we are rarely wise enough to fully understand the meaning of an event at the very moment it occurs. Sometimes, what feels like a loss today opens the door to a better path tomorrow. Sometimes, what seems like misfortune ends up protecting us from something far worse. Today's story is a powerful lesson about patience, faith, and the ability to remain calm in the face of life's. In a small village, nestled at the foot of green hills, there lived a poor farmer with his wife and their only son. The family had very little. Their house was built from dried mud and thatched straw. Their farmland was small, and each day was shaped by hard labor under the sun, wind, and simple, modest meals. Yet despite their poverty, there was a quiet and unusual sense of peace within that home. The farmer was not the most remarkable man in the village, nor was he wealthy or powerful. What made him different was the way he saw life. When drought came and the crops failed, he did not complain. When the harvest turned out better than expected, he did not boast or become arrogant. He simply worked in silence, cared for his family, and accepted whatever came his way with a calm heart. In his home, there was a beautiful horse, strong, intelligent, and admired by many. To the villagers, it was the family's most valuable possession. But to the farmer, the horse was more than just an asset. It was like a companion, a loyal member of the family that had shared many difficult years with them. Whenever something good or bad happened, the farmer would simply smile and say, "Who can truly know what is good or bad? Only time will tell. Everything happens for a reason. Be patient, be grateful, and keep your faith." The villagers could not understand him. Some thought he was strange. Others believed he was indifferent. But in truth, he was not emotionless. He simply understood that life cannot be judged by a single moment. One day, news of the farmer's beautiful horse reached the ears of a wealthy merchant. Curious and intrigued, the man traveled all the way to the village. The moment he saw the horse, he was captivated by its powerful build and intelligent eyes. Without hesitation, he offered a large bag of gold, enough for the farmer's family to live comfortably for many years. The villagers gathered around, watching closely. To them, this was a life-changing opportunity. They whispered among themselves that if the farmer refused, he would surely be the biggest fool in the village. But the farmer simply shook his head gently. He said the horse was not something to be sold. It was a part of his family. The merchant raised his offer once, then again. Still, the farmer calmly refused. In the end, the merchant left in disappointment. Soon after, the entire village began to talk. They said the farmer had just thrown away his only chance to escape poverty. A few days later, something unexpected happened. One morning, the farmer's son walked out to the stable and found it completely empty. The rope had come loose, and the horse was gone. The father and son searched everywhere: the fields, the riverbanks, the forest edges, even nearby villages, but there was no trace of it. Once again, the villagers had something to mock. They said the farmer got what he deserved for not selling the horse when he had the chance. The son was devastated, but the father remained calm and said, "Don't rush to call this a misfortune. Only time will reveal what is truly good or bad." About a week later, while the son was still saddened by the loss of their precious horse, something unexpected happened. That morning, a thin layer of mist still covered the fields. The air was so quiet that even the wind brushing through the trees could be heard. Suddenly, from afar, came the rapid sound of hooves. The son lifted his head, listened carefully, and then hurried out of the house. Before his eyes was an unbelievable sight. The family's lost horse was running back home. But even more astonishing, behind it were 5 wild horses, strong, tall, and full of spirit. They entered the yard as if the old horse had led them all the way back. The news quickly spread throughout the village. The same people who had once mocked the farmer rushed over to see. They marveled in amazement. praising him as the luckiest man in the region. Some said, "Before he had only one horse, now he has 6. This is truly a blessing from heaven." Others added, "Perhaps he wasn't as foolish as we thought." The son was overjoyed. He believed their family's life would now improve. With 6 horses, they could plow more land, carry more goods, and earn much more money. But the farmer remained as calm as ever. He did not jump with excitement, nor did he take pride in the villagers' praise. He simply looked at his son and said gently, "Don't rush to call this good fortune, my son. We don't yet know what this will bring. Only time will tell." The next day, eager to tame the wild horses, the son could hardly contain his excitement. In his eyes, they were a great opportunity to change the family's life. He chose the strongest horse and climbed onto its back with confidence and anticipation. But the moment he settled in, the horse neighed loudly, reared up, and bucked violently. It twisted its body, leaped fiercely, and threw him hard onto the ground. A sharp crack echoed through the air. The son cried out in pain, clutching his leg. The family rushed over in panic. The village healer was called and carefully bandaged the injury, but warned that it would take many weeks for the boy to recover. Once again, the villagers began to talk. The same people who had called the family lucky just the day before were now shaking their heads. Those wild horses only brought misfortune, they said. If it weren't for them, his son wouldn't have broken his leg. Lying in bed, overwhelmed with pain, the son looked at his father and asked, "Father, could this possibly have a reason too?" The farmer sat beside him, gently placing a hand on his shoulder, and said, "My son, don't be too quick to call this misfortune. Some things that hurt us today may end up saving us tomorrow. Only time can reveal their true meaning." 2 weeks later, the sound of war drums and horns suddenly echoed throughout the village. The king's soldiers arrived, carrying an order to take all able-bodied young men to the battlefield. No one was allowed to refuse. Mothers broke down in tears, fathers stood in silence, and the young men were taken away one by one in fear. When the soldiers reached the farmer's house, they saw his son lying in bed with his leg tightly bound. After examining him, they shook their heads and moved on, as he was unfit for war. The very injury that had once been seen as a misfortune had now become the reason that saved his life. Months later, the war came to an end. Sad news returned to the village. Many of the young men had not survived. Only then did the son truly understand his father's words. The horse running away was not necessarily a loss. The 5 wild horses returning were not necessarily a blessing. The broken leg was not necessarily a tragedy. Everything was simply a piece of a bigger picture, one that only time could fully reveal. Life never shows its full meaning in a single moment. So don't celebrate too quickly when something good happens, and don't lose hope too fast when something bad occurs. Be patient, stay grateful, and hold on to your faith, because sometimes what feels like a loss today is actually a blessing quietly protecting you.